Okay, without further ado, I'm going to start introducing a series of speakers that I am pleased to say I am jointly comparing with my comrade Hina Aksu, who you'll be hearing from a little bit later on. But before I introduce the first speaker, I just want everyone to put their hands together and a big roar of cheer and gratitude to Shiboom for a wonderful music accompaniment. Okay, so our first speaker today is a demonstration is being hosted by Stand Up to Racism. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Ruby Hirsch for Stand Up to Racism. Ruby.
No human being is illegal. Every person on this earth has the right to a home, a right to learn, a right to work, a right to live and express themselves. This is the undisputable truth that every one of us here today and every person who's marching up and down the country and across the world today, that we're going to keep on saying loud and clear. Despite this government trying to spread the nasty and filthy idea that some people are illegal and criminal simply because they've been forced to leave their homes and migrate. Whatever your reason for coming to this country, you have a right to seek asylum. Migration is not a crime. Refugees are welcome here. A few days ago, a man called Gary Lineker tweeted his support for refugees and said that the language that this government is using around refugees was not dissimilar to that in Germany in the 1930s. And we all know he was suspended by the BBC, but solidarity and a public outpouring of support has seen him reinstated. But all they have done is expose once again that the people of this country stand with refugees, we stand behind Gary and against this vile racist government. Because Gary was right. When they talk about refugees as a swarm or a flood, they are intentionally dehumanising. When they talk about sending refugees before they have a chance to be heard or processed to a far-off country to be detained, well, yes, Gary Lineker is right. The Nazi Party in Germany in the 30s had a plan called the Madagascar Plan. They wanted to ship Jewish people away to Madagascar. And now we have the Rwanda Plan, where undesirable people, those deemed less than worthy, those people that are dehumanised are to be shipped away to offshore detention. This is reminiscent of 1930s Germany, and we will not stop saying that just because this government wants to scare us into shutting up. Stop Rwanda! We've already forced the government into a U-turn on this issue countless times over their horrifically cruel Rwanda plan, but they're not giving it up. I think we can make it the final nail in the coffin of this government. The trade unions have been leading the way in the fight for refugee rights, particularly over the Stop Rwanda campaign. And so it's brilliant to see so many union flags and banners here today representing fighting workers from across society. Teachers, cleaners, firefighters, posters, lecturers, nurses, bus drivers, train drivers, everybody from across society coming together to say no to racism. This government is attacking our standard of living. They're attacking our pay and conditions in the most brutal way. But millions of workers have been taking strike action and hitting back against the Tories. And we all stand behind that inspiring movement. But the government will try and use racism to divide us and to break our movement. To say that if the NHS is on its knees, if you can't get a house, if you can't afford to pay your bills, blame migrants, blame illegals. But we are absolutely crystal clear in saying unions stand against racism, workers stand against racism, migrants are not to blame, this government and the Tories are to blame, and we will unite black, white, Asian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Christian, atheist, all of us to say racism will not divide us. We remember the might of the Black Lives Matter movement. We are at the continuation of that movement. We never went away. We demand justice for refugees and justice for Sheku Bayo and all the victims of institutional racism, of police brutality and racism. Here in Scotland, that means that every single one of us being part of the fight for justice for Sheku, standing together outside the inquest into his death and saying, we demand the truth, we demand justice, because if they get away with this, and they've got away with so many deaths of black people in police custody before, then they will do it again. We cannot let that happen. We say enough is enough. So refugees are welcome here. Justice for Sheku Bayo. Unions together against racism. We are the anti-racist majority. We're going to keep building this fight back. Not just in our unions, but in our communities, in every community across Scotland, because we saw in Erskine that the far right are waiting in the sidelines and they're ready to stir up hate, and we have to be there. Whenever the PA, the far right, the fascists rear their ugly heads, we stand together in our communities against hatred, against scapegoating and lies, and together with refugees. So join Stand Up to Racism today at our school, and let's say it loud, say it clear. Refugees!